Okay, I'm coming here today because silence has protected the wrong things for too long. And because my children deserve the full truth, not pieces of it, not whispers, and not a story rewritten about me. This is not easy for me, but healing isn't easy. Protecting my children has required me to do hard things my entire life. I want to begin with this clear, very clearly, and without excuses. I take full accountability for my choices as a mother, all of them. The good ones, the painful ones, the ones I made while surviving, and the ones I would do differently today. I'm not here pretending I was perfect because I wasn't. And I won't rewrite my story to make myself look better. But I will tell it honestly. I was not raised by my mother. I was raised by my grandmother. That matters more to me than people realize. I experienced abuse and neglect as a child. My mother chose to stay with the man who harmed me. She allowed him access to me. She did not protect me. She chose him. She married him. And they are still married today. Because of those actions, my grandmother stepped in and raised me. My grandmother wasn't just someone I loved. She was my protector. She was my safety. She was my consistency. She was my emotional home. She believed me when others didn't. She saw me when I was invisible. She gave me love without conditions, excuses, or denial. When you grow up like that, being protected by one person and ignored by another, it shapes you deeply. It teaches you to normalize things that shouldn't be normal. It teaches you to doubt your instincts. It teaches you to tolerate dysfunction longer than you should. And it teaches you to stay quiet when speaking up once got you hurt. So when I became a mother, I carried all of that with me, even when I didn't realize it. When my children were younger, I was still a young woman trying to survive with unresolved trauma. I worked long hours to keep the lights on and food on the table. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. And on the weekends, I partied. I left my children with my mother. At the time, I told myself it was normal. That family was family. I could handle it. That love would be enough. Looking back now, I can say this honestly. I didn't yet understand how deeply unhealed I was. During COVID, things became harder. I worked long hours. My children were home alone far more than they should have. I take full responsibility for that. I also need this part out loud because accountability matters. When I was younger, I gave too much of my emotional energy to men. I was sad. I was depressed. I was lonely. And when relationships didn't work out, I shut down emotionally. There were times my children did not get emotional presence they deserved from me. I wasn't always I wasn't always absent physically, but emotionally I wasn't always fully there. To my children, I want you to hear this clearly. I am sorry. I am so sorry. I apologize for the moments my pain took up space that should have belonged to you. None of that was your fault ever. Now, this part is important because most people misunderstand it. After my grandmother passed away, my life actually changed for the better. For a while, she left money behind. I want this to be very clear. That money was spent on my children and our life. We lived, we traveled, we laughed. We set up camp at the beach with a tent. We rode bikes. We ate good food. We stayed active and connected. Our life improved. We were happy. They were happy. For the first time, I wasn't just surviving, I was present. I was healing. I was showing up differently as a mother. That season of our lives was better. It was healthier and joyful. But money doesn't last forever. As it started running low, life shifted again. I became pregnant with my son. It was high risk pregnancy. I was forced to stop working. Slowly, everything unraveled. We lost stability. We lost independence. We lost what I had rebuilt. That is how we got here. That is how I ended up needing my mother. Not because I wanted to depend on her, but because I had no other option at the moment. I leaned on her because I was scared, because I was trying to protect my unborn child, because I believed family would show up when it mattered most. Before I ever had my own apartment, I enrolled in nursing school. That decision was about breaking cycles, about building stability, about never being trapped again. While living with my mother, something happened that changed everything. One day, her husband was speaking poorly about me to my daughter. I calmly asked him not to do that. I was protecting my child emotionally. What happened next was terrifying. He became enraged. He chased me up the stairs trying to fight me. He was so aggressive that I got jammed in my room, physically blocking the door to keep him from coming in. My daughter had to help me get out. That moment broke something open in me. I immediately called my mother and told her what happened. Her response was not concern for my safety. It was not protection for her daughter or her grandchildren. She said he could not go back to jail, and she kicked me out. I became homeless. I slept in my car. That experience strips you down. It humbles you. It forces you to confront how disposable you are. to people who thought you were family. Eventually, I reached out for help. An organization called Four Kids helped me. They placed me in a hotel. They helped me stabilize. And today I live on my own. I have a 2-bedroom apartment with my 2-year-old son. I'm rebuilding again. It's rebuilt. I'm returning to nursing school in April to finish my last semester. And I'm doing that on my own without depending on unsafe people. While I've been rebuilding, another shift happened. My mother began taking control over my children, over decisions, over access, over authority. My daughters now live with her, and my oldest is not speaking to me. That pain is something I wouldn't wish on anyone. I want to say this carefully and truthfully. My relationship with my children has been deeply impacted by my mother taking over. Narratives have been created, roles have been reversed, and now, and now, and I'm now positioned as the problem for setting boundaries. But even in that pain, I had to ask myself a question. Am I choosing comfort or am I choosing protection? That question changed everything. I wanted my children to know their grandmother. That desire came from love. But love without accountability can still cause harm. And I realized that keeping the peace was costing my children their emotional safety and costing me my voice. So I choose differently. That choice has cost me relationships. It's cost me support. It has cost me comfort. And it has cost me daily access to my children. But it has given me clarity. I am not here claiming to be a perfect mother. I'm a mother who has made mistakes, a mother who has grown, a mother who is willing to say, I got it wrong, and I'm doing better now. And I'm a mother who refuses to pass unhealed trauma down another generation. If speaking up makes me the villain in someone else's story, I can live with that. I can live with it. But in my children's story, I am choosing to be the protector, even when it hurts. To anyone watching who has ever had to choose between silence and safety, choose safety. To anyone rebuilding after for anyone rebuilding after being discarded, you are not weak. You are resilient. And to my children, always and forever, I love you. I see you. I am fighting for you. And everything I'm doing is to make sure the cycle ends with me. And thank you for listening. This is my truth. And I will no longer tell it in whispers.